Good morning, what's left of it. Welcome to Winnipeg. Welcome to sunshiny Winnipeg. And we have, see now, how can I word this? A 70% chance of having no rain today. Yeah, be positive. Yeah, the cup is 75% full instead of 25% empty. Okay. Yeah, speaking of full, I do like this cup. I think that stands for full, or something like that. Okay. I did know and I forgot. I guess I could Google FLUT. I could Google it and see what the translation is directly. Maybe I'll do that. And I'll dub it in. However, we are having a hard time getting going here. Probably about, an hour ago I came and I cut the batteries, enough batteries to make a bank of batteries. And I've paged ahead here to steps 34 and 35, where it talks about, if you remember, we closed off yesterday's episode saying that I wasn't 100% sure at what angle this is supposed to be once it's glued together, and I thought, well, it's not like that, that's for sure. It'd be like this, and if we can place the batteries on, well, we'll move in and do it a little closer. Then in other words, then I'll be able to get it glued together at the right angle. And also I found out, where it goes on this part right here. It actually plugs in right down here, and then once again, you're way too far back. I have a bad habit of starting to tell you things and you have a hard time following what I'm talking about. When with just very little extra planning, I can make it so that you can understand better. Okay, what do we have here? I did not see the walkers. Once again, that doesn't mean they didn't come by. It just means I didn't see them. I did see the sunrise, though, what there was of it. Well, it was sure a lot better than yesterday's nothing sunrise. Okay, what are we going to be doing here today? Well, we're going to be, I think we're almost done step 31 here, aren't we? Except for this one piece, which is it talks about it right here, and they want us to glue this together, and then we're done step 31. Missy the dog has already been by. Good morning, Missy. How are you this morning? How are you this morning? Yeah, there we go. All right. Let's see what we can find for you here. Okay. Do you like this flavor? Is that a good one? Hey, is that a good one? I got a comment from one of the viewers, and I guess must have been an episode that you guys weren't in the video. And he says the episodes just aren't the same without Max and M&M. He said M&M, Max and Missy. Come on. Yeah.
Well, Boogie, the Boodle, is with us like a grand dog to help the puppy's parents. But I can tell already it's not going to be 5 months, it's going to be 2 weeks. It's pretty hard on Missy.
She's not herself, is she?
The big dog is so big. And it wants to play, but it kind of bowls Missy over, and Missy gets mad and ferocious and chases the dog right across the room. And then the dog comes back and thinks that it's a game and wants to bounce on Missy, and then Missy hides behind my chair. So,
And I think that dog is going to get bigger.
yes, yes. He's very happy living with us. He's never eaten so well or had company all day long. Yeah, Boogie's a nice little dog. Yeah. The cat is just right out of sorts. The cat who is getting healthier and is coming up more and more every day, she just disappeared.
Well, she's an old cat and she can't cope with a young dog.
Yeah.
I think that's what it is.
Yeah, and she's arthritic and a lot of pain. And she went down to eat out of the cat's dish, but the cat came out and spoke to her, and the dog hasn't been downstairs since. She might have put a paw on the pup's nose with one or two claws out. I'm not sure. I didn't hear any yelp, but I think Boogie just knew when she was outmatched.
You know, Missy isn't even jumping into your lap, is she? No, she's just completely out of sorts.
Yeah, she's not very happy.
No.
I think she'd be willing to play with the pup, you know, but the pup is just brainless. We went to the vet yesterday. Her eyes check out 100%.
So the vet had no idea then what that stuff was.
Conjunctivitis. She thought we need to trim around Missy's eyes. It may be the occasional hair that's irritating the surface of the eye. She checked out Missy's ears and said that I had to hold her pretty tight because they took a very close look at the eyes using different lights in the ears, and said the epithelium of the ears was excellent. Sometime in the future we may have to have the ears plucked on the inside, even if we do it under anesthesia.
Yeah, she's scratching her ear there. There's something in her
nose.
Yeah, maybe that's what it is. Maybe
I think it's allergies.
Oh, she's got an itch. Have you got an itch? Huh? Yeah, she's got an itch.
Often what bothers the ears are allergies, actually. Not bacteria or fungi, it's just the allergies. And it's enough to cause an irritation and eventually
there she goes. There she goes. Okay, this is going to be known as the Missy episode because so far I haven't done anything on the model ship.
We leave at around 10 o'clock this morning to head out to Carmen with the dog and the cat. I'll leave the three of them overnight. And I'll come back in time, hopefully, to get Missy out for a walk and put her down for a nap. I'll come over for coffee and...
Oh, see you at 3:30.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Okay.
We won't be here at 1. Missy will be looking...
So I'm guessing it was about an hour ago. I think it was when I was nipping these things off, the sprue. And looking out the front window, I could see the letter carrier headed this way. So I met her at the door and she hands me an envelope. Bill Cycle. Well, I know right away what this is. These are crush washers for my drain plugs. There we go. Yeah, 4 of them. They're for the drain plugs. My motorcycle has 2 drain plugs. One that'll drain the transmission area, and one that drains the engine area. And it actually has two separate oil filters, a big one for the engine and a smaller one for the transmission. And yet it's funny, they both use the same oil. So this oil must circulate somehow between the two compartments. Anyway, it works. Yeah, this is from Anna at Bill's Cycle. So thank you very much, Anna. Speaking of Anna, I spoke to Anna one time on the phone. Just as far as I know, just one time. And all the communication we had for over the last 8 months or so over this motorcycle. And I could tell from her accent that I'll bet you she knows what that says or means. I think it means full. When I first saw it, I thought it meant high tide. But maybe not. Anyway, yeah. Okay. Where were we here? Oh yeah, we were talking about these things, weren't we? Before Missy the dog. Let's recompose here and see if we can get these situated in such a way that they're going to make sense. I think I've got them cleaned up enough that it should work. There's supposed to be 3 times as many of these as you see right here. They pretty much fill up this whole tray. Yeah, let's recompose here. Okay, so we're going to be looking at this drawing right here in step 35. We won't be getting to step 35 for a while yet. But you can see this little angled part right here. Well, that's this little piece right here. So we know it goes like this, not like this. And then these batteries have to be put together in such a way. You'll notice that there's a little tongue on each one, on one end. And so want to get them so that the tongues are all together. And like this. Okay. Now, I don't think these parts actually get glued together. I think they just sort of sit loose, but they are touching each other as near as I can tell. Okay, so what's going to happen is one is going to go right in here. It's probably going to be a bit of a tight fit here. On the other hand, maybe not, I don't know. Okay, now then, this part here has got to go in, and it has to be angled so that these other batteries, when plugged in, are going to fit just right. You know, it almost looks to me, and I think I alluded to this a couple of days ago. Okay. Boy, the inside of that submarine must have been really rank, because you can see the, breathing must have been a real problem, because you can see on the tops of the batteries, and if you've ever been around a car battery when it has been charging, it gives off a very distinctive, obnoxious odor. Okay, now where is... Whoops. I shouldn't have tried to do that. Okay, I think that if I was to take and put something on here, like a straight edge, so that this was straight like that, I think we pretty well have it. Maybe this is maybe I should get rid of those, like that. Yeah, I think that if we just have it so that this part here that I'm touching with the corner and this part here are on the same plane, okay, then I think we're probably safe to go. yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do, because what you saw me do here with the batteries was actually the first time I've tried it. I've tried it lots of times in my mind, but okay, have we beat this to death, or have we beat this to death? I think we beat it to death. Okay. Oh, speaking of motorcycles, I was out yesterday on my bike, and I was probably, maybe 5 minutes away from the end of my ride. And I was just about ready to turn onto Chief Pegler's Trail and head east here towards the house. I was on Henderson Highway. And I like to get onto Chief Pegler's Trail because it's a fairly new street or freeway, and it's quite smooth. And I get to open the bike up and feel that power. And I'm thinking to myself every time I do it, I'm thinking, my goodness, if it's like this in rain mode, what would it ever be like in sport mode? Anyway, yeah, it's kind of fun. Anyway, okay, where was it going with this? So I'm coming along, and a guy just ahead of me and to the right of me, he rolls down his window and he sticks out his hand, and he gives me the thumbs up. There, now you can see it. He gives me a thumbs up, and he says, "Nice bike." Yeah. Okay, it is a nice bike. I'm having a great time with it. Okay, let's get back to this here. Okay. I was trying to think here, how could I get this so that it's going to be on the same plane, which right now it is. How am I going to hold it? And then I thought about my little clamps here, which are just about going to hit the lens. Okay, and you can see that if I put them on the end like this, they hold these two pieces. Now, unfortunately, I'm going to have to be careful not to get too much glue going along here. I'm going to have glue in my clamps to this. So I think what I'm going to do is just sort of tack it. Now we are going to have to repaint. There's just no question about it. Yet on the other hand, why? It's going to be completely covered up with these batteries, which if I remember right, are sort of a dark color. We'll get them exactly the same as what we did the other ones. You can see how they're supposed to go there. And now if we take this thing and turn it over, maybe if I get it together here and just glue it just from this one side and just on the end there, and let it sort of meld together. We're not going to use the macro lens. We're just going to do it in the center here. And we'll go on and do something else. Okay, now let's not put on so much that it runs out and glues the clamps. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I think we basically got it here. Well, let's just see how badly did we do here. Actually, not bad at all. Maybe I won't have to repaint. They're not quite together as good as it could be. And I want to be careful not to press too hard and all of a sudden have everything buckle on me. But I think that's just about right. I'm not even seeing it. Maybe I should put a little bit more on. Or am I being a moron? Okay, that should actually work pretty good. Let's just double check now. Carefully turn it over. Yeah, I think that's going to be all right. Okay, let's, well, this is drying. Let's turn back to step 31 and just double check and make sure there's not something else that we're supposed to do here. And if there isn't, we can flip the page to 32. Okay, step 31. I can't say step 31 and we are done because a moment ago I was looking at it and I see one piece that we did not put on. Now I'm not talking about the 4 lights. We're not going to be putting those on. We drilled holes, if you remember. Okay, but there is one piece that we missed. Z19. And it goes right there. And Z19, I believe, is a red one. And now, is Z19 the smallest one or the second to the smallest? Let me get my tweezers here. These things are so small, even Tony's tweezers won't pick them up. Okay, so here's I think that's the smallest one, but that might not be the 19. This one here might be a 19. We'll have to look at this up close because this one does not have the little crank on the top of the wheel, whereas this one, which isn't painted all that well, it does have a crank on the top of the wheel. I'm just trying to get it here. So it could be that the 19s are the little ones. I'm going to have to page back a little bit here, and where it talks about the different wheels. Also, we should check the painting and marking guide to make sure. Okay, here it is right here. Well, that can't be it. This one shows 3 wheels. Okay, offhand, I would say the 19 is probably I don't know. Okay, I don't know why it took me so long to think this, but why don't we just check a sprue that still has the 19s on it? Well, there we go. And you can see it's this one right here. It's the one that does not have the little hand crank thing on the edge of the rim. Yeah. All right. So let's just sort of recompose here and see if we can drop this down right there. That's the plan. Okay, we are moved in as close as I can get with my normal macro lens, not the super macro. And we're just sort of doing a dry run here. Now, I imagine that most of you are like me. While you're doing something like this, you might be thinking about something that's completely unrelated. And my problem is that, yes, I do that too, except that I'm also videoing at the same time. And my tongue often slips into gear when I'm working out like this. I start talking about what I'm thinking about. And what I was thinking about was that right now, Bill's cycle in Steinbach they have, at least they did have last time I checked. Oh, I didn't want to put quite that much on. 2 bikes identical to what I would order. Not the fanciest bikes in the world, but they're what I consider perfect for me if I wanted to upgrade. Oh, look at that. Now I'm going to have to repaint. Oh, that's life. Let's try and get this in the hole there. I'm pretty sure it's in the hole. Yeah, 2 bikes. Identical to what I would order. And I think I could handle it if I was to upgrade to something like that. But it's just sort of a dream. But then on the other hand, the Rebel was sort of a dream 8 months ago, and it became a reality. And I found out that I could handle the Rebel. Anyway, I think after I take a brush and just trying to get that shaft down this, I'm gonna have to just sort of scrunch down so I can see in at an angle. No, the pin of the wheel is actually in the hole, so it's in the right place. We'll let that dry now, and then I'll repaint that. I should have had a little bit less extra thin on my applicator. Story of my life. Okay, now let's not paint on more than we need here. That's probably going to be more than I need. Get a little bit off the brush there. And just try and keep the paint in between those two lines that you're seeing there, because the red, that's only where the red is. And there's a little tiny bit of red out here too. Right there, I'm just sort of covering it. Now I think that once this paint dries, again in an area where nobody is going to see, we're not going to notice that it's been touched up. Maybe put it just a tiny bit more right here. I'm sort of seeing a bare spot there. I know that looks like a lot on the macro lens. It looks like a lot, but when that dries, it'll shrink wrap down, and you're not going to even hardly see that there's been paint there. And because those raised lines are keeping the paint in a little trough, you might say. Okay, you get the idea. And once again, just for perspective here, okay, 12:22, and I haven't done any editing yet, not one frame. And I'm going to call her quits for today, and we'll take a close look at that tomorrow with the macro lens and see how well it came out. Not that anybody's going to see it, but yeah, I got myself, well, part of the problem is I slept in this morning. I slept in till, I think it was just after 7. I couldn't believe it when I woke up, because normally I wake up around 5. So I must have been really needing to sleep or something. I hope it wasn't or something. Okay, yeah, thanks for watching, everybody. And all being well, we're gonna see you tomorrow.